how has the society perception of men mental health evolved in modern times? I think there was a switch.
There was a big shift a few years ago, for good actually, let's say, speaking about Ireland for the most part. Back in 2005 when I went there, nobody spoke about mental health where it comes to men. And it was a stigma. And still is at many levels. However, what has started to happen was just the statistics that were there started to be more prevalent. And I think in so many ways, COVID and the pandemic have even more highlighted that issue where obviously we all suffered over the last few years.
Yes.
However, the pinpoints or the hot spots that were there became more prominent. And one of the big things was mental health for men specifically, because at that time, imagine if you're a man and you're providing for your family, all of a sudden you have no means of providing for your family because let's say your business is failing because of pandemic, and this extra pressure that happened in pandemic, and not only in Ireland, but in many countries, right? I'm not talking about only, but my experience from there. I've seen a big shift of men that were in the prominent places. For example, rugby players in Ireland. It's rugby, just for everyone's information, this is religion. In Ireland, there's this book, side note, there's this book, I think, Ireland for Dummies, like the series of books. And I read it, and there was this chapter, and it said religion, and it said, look, rugby. Because it really is.
I mean, it's kind of soccer in Germany-ish.
Yes.
Well, more.
Yes. I think every country has a different sport. In Ireland, it's rugby and GAA, which is like a few different sports. But what has happened, which is beautiful, a lot of these prominent men with a big following and having this big masculine kind of avatars as rugby players, started speaking out, and it's like, I'm struggling right now. There's, a lot of stuff happening in my life. And it was great. They were talking about it on the kind of lower levels and a little bit less before. But I think a big shift for that was in Ireland, where a lot of retired as well rugby players started to talk more and more.
That's good.
And to young men. It's not necessarily to everyone, but it was specifically to young men, and telling them, this is okay.
You said in the early 2000s, would you say that the internet helped a lot to create more awareness in mental health?
Yes, definitely the spread of social media, Facebook, Instagram, it helped, it gave platform, right? It just gave a voice.
I mean, that's a good thing in the internet, but we will come back to the social media later in our conversation.